Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Michael to throw first. Game on.
I'm Dan Dawson, Paul Nicholson alongside me as the top two seeds battle it out for the trophy and £25,000 here at the Glaspalast in Sindelfingen.
It's interesting because these guys played in exactly the same arena, same final, back in September. It's got an air of deja vu about it.
Well, Peter Wright will be hoping it's a very different outcome because last year, the third time they met in a final of a Euro Tour event, Peter Wright was walloped 6-2.
Something's changed since then, though, hasn't it?
Well, it has and it hasn't. He did beat him in Hildesheim at the start of this year, Peter Wright. He won that 6-3. But shortly afterwards, they met in a floor tournament final, and Michael van Gerwen went ballistic. He won it 6-1. Peter Wright did not have an answer. They did meet in the Premier League recently as Wright fires in the first 180. And what an opportunity to break the throw in the very first leg here.
84.
Well, they've played each other enough times. Maybe he's trying to find out. All of that experience is coming together, and he realizes that he's got to get out of the blocks. What better way to do that than an 11-dart leg? Advantage Wright from the off.
Well, they met in the Premier League recently, and Peter Wright should have won. He led 3-0, he led 5-1, he led 6-3, but it finished as a draw, 6-all. This cannot be a draw. Somebody will be victorious and claim another Euro Tour title. And Peter Wright made his way to the stage. He held up three fingers to suggest he's going to win his third this year in just 4 events. But Michael van Gerwen hits his first 180, and he will not go quietly, I assure you. He's been getting better today. 104 average against Benito van der Pas, 105 average against Dave Chisnall.
The most important number against Chisnall was 68. That finish at the end. If you think Michael van Gerwen, even with 15 European titles, doesn't care, look at his reaction when he hit the 68 checkout. He still wants to win these things. He wants to win so many more.
He really does. 15 Euro Tour titles for MVG. Phil Taylor has 4. He's the next highest on the list. He would have 4 times as many as his closest competitor if he goes on to win this one. But Peter Wright has the upper hand in the opening stages. We'll look at the bullseye here, I think. Well, no, he stayed up there, and that's a change for Peter Wright. He usually looks for the bullseye at 25, so he's got a 2-dart out. But he gambled that he was going to hit the treble 20 again, didn't get it.
Maybe just like the lie. It looks to me, because he has had a bit of a problem this weekend with his darts just leaning to the right a bit. They seem to be going in at a better angle. He's back to the black stems in this match. Had blue ones in the last one.
49. Michael require 110.
MVG to break back. He will get a dart at double 16 for 110 checkout, and he misses just inside.
I know Peter prefers double 16 to tops, so I can see him going 20 here. 20 it is. Double 16 for 2-0. Right in the corner to the delight of the German fans.
Peter Wright, immensely popular here in Germany. But Michael van Gerwen is not short of fans all around the world.
Number 2 seed, number 1 seed. Does happen a bit in sport. These guys have played each other a lot since that world final. In other sports, you got Woods against Mickelson, Nadal versus Federer.
Well, Michael van Gerwen has said that he believes that the obvious candidate in the world who is able to match him and match his level at a more consistent basis is Gary Anderson, the world number 2, the man he's beaten in the world final to claim his 2nd world championship. And MVG, that's another 180. Is he moving through the gears now, Michael van Gerwen? But Peter Wright, having beaten him in one final already this year, having won in the UK Open qualifiers earlier this year. It was a quarter-final that game, but it was first win against Michael van Gerwen for 18 months. This is a chance to send a message to MVG. It's not just Gary Anderson you've got to worry about. Two more darts missed by Michael van Gerwen at doubles, and Peter Wright has got a huge one. But what a shot this would be.
Well, if he takes this out, this arena's going to feel like Dubai because the roof will come off. Still on. 17.
Bullseye for an absolutely huge one. It is there! Peter Snakebite Wright takes out the 1-6-1 for a break of throw and a 3-0 lead against the world number 1. He has beaten him twice this year already. He should have beaten him another time in the Premier League. That ended as a draw, but Michael van Gerwen has beaten him 3 times as well. Peter Wright looking to level up the head-to-head stats this year and show MVG that the Euro Tour is snakebites. He wants to dominate it like MVG has dominated it for the last couple of years.
Doesn't he just? That was the equivalent of the Klitschko right hand against Joshua. Couldn't do anything about it, and you could visibly see it hurt van Gerwen.
Well, a bit after the Lord Mayor's show, the start of this leg for Peter Wright, evidently adrenaline coursing through his veins. And is Peter Wright, with 3 out of 3 on his doubles, he can't put in another display of finishing like he did in Saarbrücken a couple of weeks ago in the final against Benito van der Pas, can he? Benito averaged 110 right the way through the game, and he still lost to Peter Wright, who only missed 1 dart at double, the very first dart he threw at double in that final. If Peter Wright is learning to be able to produce his best performance in the final of tournaments and keep taking out big checkouts, then Peter Wright could well be challenging Michael van Gerwen as the second best player in the world. Some people think he already is, but Gary Anderson has put in a couple of displays in beating Peter Wright in finals this year already to suggest that he doesn't like people talking like that. Savage deflection away from the treble bed for Michael van Gerwen there. And a 1-3-9 now for Peter Wright. Child's play compared to a 1-6-1.
Yeah, because you don't need the bullseye. Our statisticians have told us that there hasn't been a 6-0 the whole tournament. I'm not expecting that to come to fruition here.
83.
But Wright is getting closer to it. Van Gerwen's got to hit this 110. He's already hit one in the semi-final. He's not going to hit this one. Wright is coming back, believe it or not, for a 4-0 lead against the world number 1.
And he's not missed a dart at a double so far. He's missed 1, but it won't matter if he takes out double 10. And that is exactly what has happened, because Michael van Gerwen, the world number 1, a man who has 15 of these Euro Tour titles and won 25 tournaments last year, a record, is getting a lesson from the world number 3. And listen to this single-fingered crowd. 3,000 fans here at the Glass Palace. Peter Wright has made the final for the last 2 years. He was beaten by MVG last year, beaten by Kim Huybrechts in the final the year before. And what Peter Wright did at the UK Open. He made the final, and MVG beat him. The following year, he made the final, and MVG beat him. And the year after that, he went on and won it. Is it just a case of third time lucky for Peter Snakebite Wright? Although I'm not sure you could put it all down to luck, because at the UK Open, he produced some scintillating darts, all right? MVG wasn't there. And right now, he has produced some incredible arrows, including that amazing 161 checkout on the bullseye, and he is piling into the treble 20 again, looking... Well, he was going to try and leave 81, but he's left 1-2-1, and it's potentially enough to break van Gerwen again and go 5-0 up.
Make no mistake, Peter Wright wants to beat van Gerwen 6-0. That's his motivation right now. He wants to win every leg in this final. He might win the 5th one with another bullseye. Oh, he moved it. But the pressure's firmly back on the world number 1 again. 118. Has he got this number? 18 for tops to get on the board.
And it has not found the target. Michael van Gerwen lost a final last year on the Pro Tour to Ian White, 6-0. We thought we would never see the like again. But Peter Wright, if he takes out double 8 here, will be throwing to repeat the trick in an even bigger final on a big stage for bigger prizes. Wow, what are we witnessing?
Well, in between the semi-final and the final, I think Michael van Gerwen stepped on a black cat. Must have lost his rabbit's foot as well.
60.
But not the best start from Wright in leg 6. And we know that van Gerwen can reel off 6 in a row, so we can't count him out. But he's not playing Joe from the pub, he's playing the number 2 seed, the world number 3.
Well, let's put it this way. Peter Wright is putting in his best display of the entire tournament. He's averaging about 102. Michael van Gerwen is putting in currently his lowest average of the tournament, around about 96. Michael van Gerwen has learnt how to get better and better and produce his best stuff as tournaments go on. There you see, 96 plays 104 now. And Peter Wright is 301 points away, now 221 points away from an incredible, not just an incredible win and a 7th title this year, but a huge statement to make, not only to everybody here in Sindelfingen, but the world of darts and that man he's playing. But Michael van Gerwen with another 180.
All Wright's thinking now is get rid of 201 in 6, and he could well win this in the next 6 darts. Perfect. Perfect. Michael Bull.
170.
Too good, Peter, too good. 124's got to go. 14 Bull. Double 11.
100.
It might be all over.
We have not had a 6-0 in this entire tournament. And Peter Wright might be about to produce one in the final against the greatest player in the world. A man who has produced better darts than we have ever seen before. And Peter Wright has taken him to the cleaners. Wright, 6. Van Gerwen, 0. Peter Wright has destroyed the world champion to claim a 3rd Euro Tour title in 4 events. It is Snakebite who is dominating the Euro Tour this year. He said 2 weeks ago that the tide is turning on the European Tour, and he is the man to beat. And that was as emphatic as we have ever seen